Hi everyone, so today we're going to do a low impact HIIT workout. Okay, so it's going to be 45 seconds on, 5 movements with a 5-second gap in between, and then we usually break for about 40 seconds, grab some water. I would advise that if you do have a problem with balance, there are some balancing poses in this. We do want to keep the hips square, so if you need to take a chair or a worktop, then that's something to really work towards, getting rid of that chair or worktop, just to make sure you really engage in the core and you're not putting too much weight onto one side of the body. So yeah, I'll begin by just showing you the movements. Okay, so move number 1 is going to be squatting down, walking out into a plank position, really squeezing the core, squeezing the glutes, walking back out, standing up. Number 2 is walking out into a downward facing dog, and then we're going to roll over into a plank position and then move back into our downward facing dog, moving forward into plank and then back. Movement number 3 is goddess pose. So for those of you who don't know what goddess pose is, we take the feet out towards the side, so the knees are facing towards the side. You're really tucking the tailbone under, so you're going to ground down through the core. And then we're going to begin to squat down, so the knees are out to the side, and we're going to pulse here. So again, really moving down through the core. You don't want to be sticking the glutes towards the back. Number 3 is going to be a normal lunge, but a lunge pulse. So we're going to do one side for 45 seconds, and then the next time round we'll do the opposite leg. When we do this, make sure that the knee is above the foot, so you don't want the knee to come in front of the foot. And we're going to round down through the back leg, squeezing the opposite glute. And then the final pose, pose number 5, is moving into our standing pose. So taking that leg back, taking the arms forward, and then moving that knee in towards the chest, making sure the hips are square the whole time. If you do want to moderate this, so if you do want a bit of a harder option, when you're moving back in the walkout, you can take a jump at the end. And when you're in the downward facing dog, moving into plank, if you want to lower down into chaturanga, push back up and then push back, you can take that option as well. Okay, so we're going to begin by just doing a little bit of a warm up. So coming into a squat pose, so taking the feet hip distance apart, just begin by moving down for 5 squats. 2, 3, 4, 5, engaging the abs. And then we're just going to bring the feet in together, and we're just going to twist the knee out to the right and then back in. 4 more of these. 3, 2, and 1. Perfect. Changing sides. 5 to the left. 2, 3, 4, 5. Amazing. Okay, so let's begin. So I'm just going to start the timer. So the first one is the squat, walk out into plank, and then walk back. There are 5 moves with a break in between, and we're going to do it 4 times through. Grab a drink now if you need it, just after that little warm up. And if at any point you do need to pause the workout just to catch the breath, that's absolutely fine. Okay, counting down. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Perfect. So squatting down, engaging the core, walking out, walking back out. And if you want to add a jump, feel free to add that jump. Remembering to breathe, really squeezing the thighs and the glutes as well as the core muscles here. Perfect. Moving into our downward facing dog. 3 seconds. And rolling forward into plank. If you do want to add that chaturanga, feel free to add that. You can even come to the knees and then lower down, elbows in towards the ribs, engaging the core. Remembering to breathe. Making sure the hips aren't raised high. You don't want to lower down into that chaturanga with the hips too high. I'm really engaging the glutes, the thighs. Trying not to put too much pressure into the shoulders, so keeping the shoulders away from the ears. Standing up, moving into our goddess, taking the feet wide towards the sides and then pulsing down. Really tucking that tailbone under, lifting the chest, keeping the shoulders relaxed. You'll feel this one after a few seconds. Remembering to breathe. Feeling that burn. Breathing in through the nose if you can. Filling up the chest. Amazing. And then moving into our lunges. So starting with the right leg in front, left leg back, begin to lunge, pulse. Really squeeze the left glute. Pressing into that right heel. Feeling this burn after that one. Engaging the core. Squeezing them pelvic floor muscles. Feeling that burn. Standing at the front, we're going to lift the left leg back, keeping the hips square, lifting that left leg, arms in front, and then bringing that knee in towards the chest. If you do have a chair, just grabbing hold of the chair, making sure that the core remains tight. You're really lifting up through the pelvic floor muscles, belly button in towards the spine. Nice, slow, controlled. Make sure that right hip keeps pulling towards the right, keeping the hips square. Strong engagement through this left leg as well as the right leg. Amazing. Grabbing a drink, 40 seconds, and then we're going to start again. Just want you to notice what you might have found difficult in that round, and maybe just either take it a step up if you didn't find it hard enough, or bring it a step down if it was too hard. If it was if you're out of breath like me, then you're doing well. And just keeping with that breath. Using this time now to just try and reduce that heart rate. So bringing that heart rate down, it helps to burn the fat, but we're also working into the muscles, so a little bit of conditioning as well. I'm actually going to move to the other side just because we are going to move the other leg back. Counting down from 9. Starting with the squats at the end of the mat, walking out to plank and then back. Squatting down, walking out to plank, engaging the core. Back up with the jump if you're taking the harder version. If not, sticking with the normal version. It's always good to not quite be the best because it's something to work towards. Something to aspire to. You also might find that some days definitely feel a lot harder than others, and that's fine as well. Coming into our downward dog. Moving forward, engaging the core. Breathing through it. If you are taking the knees, make sure that you're still lowering down from the hips. Taking it back, rolling over into that plank, engaging everything, pushing back up. Amazing. Next is that goddess pose. Making sure the feet are wide, out to the side. Engaging that pelvic floor, tucking it under for that balance. Notice that the balance feels a lot better when you engage them core muscles. Relaxing the shoulders, squeezing the glutes and the thighs. Nice controlled breath if you can. Amazing, and then this time I'm going to take the right leg back, left leg forward and pulse. Squeeze this right glute. Engage in the core. Shoulders relaxed. Nearly there. Really feeling that burn now. Perfect, step into the front. We're going to lift this right leg back this time. Squeezing the core, lifting back, lifting that left hip towards the left, bringing that right leg in. Focus drishti on something in front. Maybe it's the top of the mat to keep that balance. Engage in the core. Press into that big toe on the left leg. Remembering to breathe deep, inhale as you lean out, and then exhale on the way in. Amazing. Halfway through, grabbing a drink if you need it. I'm just going to take a small sip. Staying hydrated is really important. Really working, even in the spare time, just noticing how different it feels when you really do tuck that tailbone under, pulling them pelvic floor muscles up, and just getting into that habit. It's so difficult to remember, but in any form of exercise, even running, walking up the stairs, it just really protects the back and it really engages the core. Starting again in 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Squatting. Squatting down, walking out, walking back, jump if you want to, squatting back into it, walking out, walking back into that squat and jump squat, walking out, walking back in, and squat, walking out, walking back in. That's it, halfway there. Jump back into it. Walking out and back in. Coming back into that downward dog. Moving forward into plank. Option to just stay here and move back. That's completely fine, as long as you're using the control of the abs. Lowering down into chaturanga if you can, and back, moving forward, down, back up, and back. Building that strength for yoga. It is getting difficult now though. And back, forward, and back. Moving up into that goddess. Take the feet wide, pointing the toes to the side, engaging the core and pulsing. Breathing here. Really grounding down through the core. See if you can get low in this squat. And stay there. Squeezing the glutes. Squeezing the thighs. It's a lot of engagement. And the top half, completely relaxed. Amazing. Stepping to the front, taking that left leg back, getting ready for our pulse lunges, engaging this left glute, breathing through that burn. Knowing that it's the mind that gives up before the body does. Just keep telling yourself you can. You're nearly there. Really feeling that burn. Not long. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Stepping that left leg to the front. We're going to take this left leg back. Get engaged in the core. Twisting the right hip to the right. Taking the hands out, and then back and knee in towards the chest. Engaging this core. Knee in. Nice and controlled. Making sure this left leg's really engaged. Squeezing the core, but squeezing this glute. Nice strong leg in that right leg for that support. Amazing, you're nearly there. One more round. Was really tough on the legs, feeling tough on the arms. So if you are feeling like it's more work towards the end, brilliant, that's what we want. So grab a drink if you need to. Checking in with that heart rate, just using the breath to bring it down. We have about 25 seconds. Breathing into it. I'm going to stand at the opposite side. I'm really feeling it in this sweater, but it was cold when I was outside, so I overcompensated. Okay, counting down from 9. Coming to the top of the mat, starting with the squats, walking out into plank. Engage core now, and move down into that squat. Walking out, walking back in, and jump, squat, walking out, walking back in, jump, squat, back out, back in, squat, out, in. Really engaging the core, out, moving out, and back in. Getting that heart rate up. If you are doing the jumps, last round. Moving into that downward dog. Deep inhale, move forward. And as you exhale, press down. Moving it back. Really engaging the core. Moving it back. If you do need to come down to the knees, pressing down and back up. As long as you're not moving into the shoulders, you're not collapsing into the hips. Moving it back and forward. Amazing. Standing up quickly, taking the feet wide and out to the side. Engage that core. No time for the legs. The last round, we've got this. Really engaging that core. Tucking that tailbone under. Engaging the glutes. Pressing into the heels. Getting low in that squat. Relaxing the shoulders. Really not long to go. Pulsing. Getting ready for our lunge pulse. Okay, standing at the top, taking that right leg back. Squeeze this right glute. Pulsing here. Engaging this core. Pressing into that left heel. Such a mental challenge, but we can do this. Feeling that burn. Amazing. Stepping that right foot to the front, we're going to lift the right leg back, twisting the hips to the left, keeping the hips square. Begin to take that right leg out and back in. Feeling the core working here. Squeezing this right leg, squeezing the right glute. Engagement all through the body. Keeping them shoulders relaxed. If you are using a chair, perfect. Keeping the hips square. Lifting up. Moving out. And back in. Oh, well done. That's it, that's the end of our HIIT. So I do want you to just come down. Coming into a tabletop position. We're going to take 5 rounds of cat-cow. So deep inhale, lifting the chest up, push the chest forward. Lifting the head up, shoulders back, tailbone lifts up. And as we exhale, pressing into the hands, tucking the tailbone under, chin towards the chest. Inhale for 2. Exhale. Inhale for 3. Exhale. Inhale for 4. Exhale. Inhale one more. Exhale. And then come into a lie down position. So lying down on the back. We're going to take the knees in towards the chest. Give yourself a big hug. We're rolling out the spine. And then lowering the feet down to the mat. So almost like bridge, bringing the feet in. We're going to take the right leg and place the right foot on the left knee. Option to stay here, or if you want a deeper stretch, loop that right hand underneath that right foot and then pull the leg in. If you want an even deeper stretch, you can take the left ankle, relaxing the shoulders, breathing here. Especially after all the leg work. It's a nice stretch. One more deep breath. Exhale. Lowering that foot down to the ground. If it's in the air, we're going to swap sides. Taking that right foot down, lifting the left leg up, placing that left foot on the right knee. Option to just press that left knee if this feels like it's enough. If not, taking that right leg up, looping that hand round, So underneath that left leg, for a deeper stretch, you can grab hold of the ankle, just relaxing the shoulders. Really pulling on that leg, feeling that stretch on the groin, the back of the glute down the leg. And just using this as a time to really calm down the breath. One more breath here. Taking that right foot down, taking that left foot down, and then if you want to take a Shavasana for a few minutes, feel free. Just calmly relaxing. I'm going to end the practice here. So well done. That was, even though it's low impact, it has just as big of an effect. You don't have to be running around to really work into the body. As long as you're engaging the right parts, then it works. So well done, and I hope you all have an amazing day. Thank you.